hat ja auch schöne Ecken.
Willkommen zurück zu Schönen Ecken, zu unserer großen Belgien-Grand-Tour. Immer noch ein bisschen kühl, finde ich, aber es regnet nicht.
Es regnet nicht, das ist korrekt.
Genau. Wir sind jetzt verabredet mit Ferry Jandl, unserem Führer durch das wundervolle Porthaus in Antwerpen, das Gebäude der Hafenbehörde.
Das ist ein Schnitzel, oder?
Bitte?
Das ist ein Schnitzel, nee, ein Steak, ne? Porthaus. Porterhaus.
Achso, das sieht auch ein bisschen aus wie ein Schnitzel, was auf einem, also ein Gebäude auf einem Gebäude. Und
Hallo, übrigens auch von
alles
mir.
weiter erfahren wir, glaube ich, gleich. Ich würde sagen, wir schauen erstmal, was uns hier erwartet und wie wir reinkommen. Ne?
So we are now standing on the Zaha Hadid Square.
Ja.
In front of you, you can see the new port house. I say the new port house, so it means there was an old port house. It was located a few hundred meters from here,
Okay.
but it became too small. So Port Authority of Antwerp was looking for a new location for a new building. This building already existed. It's a former fire station.
Ja. Okay.
It's from 1922.
Okay.
And since the 1950s, it's a property of the Port Authority of Antwerp, but we were not really using it. So it was already in our possession, but it was too small anyway. So there was a contest about 10 years ago amongst designers. There were 5 designers selected, and Zaha Hadid is the one who won the contest.
Yeah.
Why? Because she was the only one who didn't make a lot of changes to the former fire station because the building is classified.
Yes.
Yes. On top, we see a boat, or we see the biggest diamond of Antwerp,
Yeah.
but that's what we say. Officially, the designer didn't have any intention to create the form of a boat or a diamond.
Okay.
But, of course, diamond industry is very important in Antwerp, so
Did she say what the intention was originally?
no.
Okay, so it was just came in her mind
No.
and
But
let's do
the
it.
new building is parallel with the axe of the docks.
Yeah.
So there's the north, here's the south.
Yeah.
So it's parallel with this dock you see. It's called Kattendijk
Yeah.
dock. Both buildings are independently from each other. It looks like this one, well,
Yeah.
it is on top, but it could stay there independently from the former
Yeah.
fire station. So in theory, they could take away the fire station
Yeah.
and this one could still exist.
Wow. Okay.
Because it's supported by 3 pillars. This concrete leg, or the concrete foot, this one,
Yeah.
and the black metal ones. We will go inside and then you will have
Yeah.
a better idea.
Yeah. It's looking like an somehow alien or some animal that's sitting on the building.
They're like
Was my
some
first
alien
impression.
spaceship.
I visited the building 2 years ago on New Year's Eve, but it
Yeah.
was closed just for a short period of time. So I wanted to come back and make an episode. And that's always my impression. It's an animal on top of a building. So
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah.
People always ask, can we visit the boat? And
Yeah.
what boat? Well,
Hope so. Yeah.
And these 3 pillars are all outside of the
no.
of the fire
The other
station?
ones are these black ones.
Okay.
These are steel pillars,
Okay.
so there are 2 of them. Each one is 200 tons of steel.
So
So
we have to describe a little bit for the audience. We are now
Yes.
in the inside
Yeah.
building, and there's a glass roof covering the. Yeah, what is Innenhof called in English? Cornelis, help me.
Courtyard.
Courtyard,
Courtyard.
right.
It's a
So
courtyard,
there's
yeah.
an inside courtyard, and we have a glass roof, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4. Are there?
well, we say there are 2. It's like an
2.
unfolded paper
Okay.
clip, if you see it.
So these two.
So
these
1,
two,
2,
these
and the
three
concrete
these three, yeah.
leg in front of the building.
They remind me a little bit of the theme of polygonizing is also on the outside of the ship roof. What do you call it? Diamond ship.
We say the new building.
The new building on top of this one, and these pillars are coming through the glass roof of the courtyard, and this looks very nice and very modern. And I really like it if old buildings are enhanced somehow with glass modern structures on top of them, and when there's some remembrance of the old building and also respect for the old building to put it on top and to quote it in some ways. That's nice. But it's also very piercing the old building somehow. So there is some sort of dominance of from the new building on top of it.
So this is what we call the atrium.
Yeah.
Now there is a roof on top, but when it was still in use as a
Yeah.
fire station, this was open, and this is the place where the firemen used to do exercises.
Yeah.
In front of you, there is a meeting room nowadays. Now it's called the event hall Mark van Peel. It's named after our previous alderman, but it used to be called the wagon hall because it refers to the fire trucks who were
doors, yeah.
stationed there.
When the fire station was in active duty, do you know what there are still horses or are these actual cars?
Cars. It's from 19th. No, the building was built between 1912 and 1922. So
Okay, so we
cars.
already have the first cars around this era. I think it's 100 years ago. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe there are still horses.
Yeah.
And where you see the 4 windows there,
Yeah.
now we call it a loket. It's like a counter where people had to go for their administration.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is also some artistic installations or sculptures in here from artists. Are these changing or are these?
This is new. There
This
was
is
the
new.
opening of a new exposition yesterday, and this will stay until December, but it's temporary.
Yeah, temporary.
Yes, this is from
So this
Paul
is
van
not,
Hooijdonk. It's an artist from Antwerp.
So this is ever changing through the seasons when there's new artists.
Now and then there is an exposition, yes. Not on a regular basis, but
It's a nice location for such things. So
if you want, you can also go to our aerial picture.
yes.
Well,
Yeah.
if there are delegations here or schools, mostly we give a presentation on the aerial picture, but it takes around 45 minutes. So I suggest we focus on the building now. But it's, well, very nice to see.
Yeah.
This is an aerial picture.
Okay, you stepped on it, so I will also do
No, you can step on it.
it. Stepping on glasses.
So if you
Describe it a
see
bit. It's
this,
a big map. It's I think it's 10 per 50 meters. We're standing on a big
Aerial picture from
Aerial picture of,
a satellite image of the
satellite
area,
image of Antwerp. Yeah.
and it's very
Great.
sharp. I like that.
Yeah.
well, it's a podcast, so it's difficult to say, but I'm now showing
Yeah, but
the city.
Yeah.
This is the city of Antwerp. Everything else you see on the picture is the
Yeah.
port of Antwerp.
Okay.
It's 12,000 hectares. It's the equivalent of 20,000 football fields.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the port stops at the
French
border
fleet standing on
with the
city
Netherlands.
center of Antwerp.
Cornelis is stepping on the city center of it.
So the
Yeah.
border with Netherlands is here,
Yeah.
and the port stops here because physically we cannot develop more towards the north. But it gives a good impression about
A really
about
big
the scale
port.
of the
Yeah.
port.
Compared to the
In square
city
meters,
center,
it's the
yeah.
biggest one in the whole world.
Oh,
Not
okay.
in the volume, not
Yeah.
the volume we ship, but just
I wasn't aware of that.
square meter.
Maybe this is the ideal point in time to ask what's the actual. What's this house for in terms of managing the port or?
So here in the port house, the port authority is located. All administrative and technical services are here in the port house. So for example, the marketing and communication team, financial services, IT, the nautical services are in the port itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. About 500 people are working here. There's working space for 80% of the people because also people work from home or go on holidays. And we don't have a fixed desk. It's all flexible. So
Yeah.
you arrive, you choose your space, your spot, and at the end of the day, you put your laptop back in the
Yeah.
locker. No one has its own space with their own pictures. It's not possible here.
Yeah. So can change your views and
Well,
colleagues,
for example,
surrounding you on something. Yeah.
the event team is on the 9th floor and they're always on the 9th
Okay.
floor. Every department has their own island or their own floor, but not their own desk.
Yeah.
So we know if you need someone from marketing or from events, we have to go to the 9th floor.
Yeah.
If we have to find someone from IT, they're on the 1st floor.
Yeah.
Are the two parts of the building somehow integrated in the processes that are in here, or is there anything that the old building is just for this one and the new building is only used for internal administration or
No.
something like that?
No, we have desks, offices in both parts of the building, in the old building and in the new building. Most of the meeting rooms are in the old building on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
On the 6th floor, for example, 6th floor is in the new building. There we have a company restaurant and a big auditorium for internal events, but also we rent it for external companies.
Yeah.
If there's a school, I always say, I'm not working now, I let you work. Tell me, where are we on the picture?
Okay, I know it because I've already seen it on Google Maps.
But
I just have to get...
I think it's out there. It's here, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, you were much more faster than I.
And I walked it 2 years ago as I was on Antwerp. I walked this distance from the train station to the building, so it can't be so far away.
I was just figuring out where's the north.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the new building was built, the old building had been renovated.
Yeah.
An interesting fact maybe. The interior walls of the old building have been made with dredging spoil. So we have to dredge the scalp continuously to remain the depth of the scalp. But with the spoil, there's a company called Amoras. They're located here. They take out the water from the spoil, so they dehydrate it mechanically, and with the brick that is left, the brick is used for construction material or for walls, for example.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very bright in here. I like that. Even on this rainy day we got today,
Yeah.
I like the light that's coming in here.
Especially when we go up, there's even more daylight. But
Is it loud in here
Yeah.
when there's really rain hammering on the roof?
Is it? Sorry?
Is it loud in here when the rain is hammering on the roof?
No. People who are working on the ninth floor, for example, if there's a lot of wind, they say they can feel the building moving a little bit.
okay.
It has to, because otherwise it would just break.
Static purpose, yeah.
Yeah, that's so annoying somehow when we are on high buildings. when I stayed at a hotel in Las Vegas, there was really this feeling of moving around on the top floor. This is annoying somehow.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are going through the security clearance.
Oh, sorry.
I left behind.
I forgot to give you a badge. You can go.
Okay, thank you.
Excuse me.
Yeah. No problem.
Oh, this is nice.
Yeah.
With some bright typography here on the wall.
Yeah, so here
Very
there's an
nice.
overview of all the departments working in the building.
It's allowed to take a picture of this.
White on white. I'm very huge fan of such typography.
We like also typography and interesting. In the picture it looks different because of the shadows.
I try to take a more artistic picture.
Okay. He's a designer, a profession. I'm just pretending sometimes.
Yeah, just pretend.
He missed the opportunity to be an architect.
Yeah, that's true. As a child, I wanted to be an architect all the time, but somehow
And I was
life had
forced
different
to
plans
be
for
a
me.
graphic
Yeah.
artist, so I didn't have any choice either. So. That's
So now we
because
go-
we're making this podcast.
Yeah.
We go to the 6th floor now, and then on the 6th floor there's the company restaurant and the auditorium. And one of the best views we have here. If you're scared,
We're
then
traveling
it's
between the buildings
tricky to
now.
take the elevator.
We have a
here.
little open part.
In fact, I like the hate, the feeling of hate. It's nice.
Okay, this is a total different feeling.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, now everything is bright. There are bright corridors, and we have yellow doors.
The yellow comes back on every floor.
Okay.
Yeah. In meeting rooms, in the toilets.
Oh, that's a cool feeling. Do you remember the game we played in one of our episodes, Mirror's Edge?
Yeah.
This is like it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This looks very nice.
We did an episode about architecture and games and played the game and talked about architecture in the game. It was just a cyberspace episode of our podcast, not for real architecture, only one episode. We are walking through a game and it was like this, little bit like this style. I really like if architecture can combine all the new parts in a creative way, which is not...
If you look down here, this is really, it gives you a really nice view because you can see the concrete foot of the building. You can see the square.
Yeah.
Okay, we're now looking through the glass of the upper building down on the lower building.
And it's really like a captain's deck of a ship, the bridge on the ship.
Yes, and this dynamic form
Yeah.
always comes back also in the new building.
Yeah.
This rounding, because it's like the form of a ship also.
Yeah.
And I know how expensive curved glass like this is, so this is pretty amazing. We had some very, very cool staircases in some of our episodes, but this one, I think we are in the top 3.
Yes.
Wow, this is so
These
cool.
are portraits of all the elder men of the port. And this is the last one. He stopped at the end of 2018.
So we built this building. There was a part
Well,
of
the
the
building
process.
is open since September 2016. So yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was this,
Yeah.
part of his work. So yeah, very nice.
And now
That's quite a history.
we have the first female elderman.
That's good.
That's good, because that's a very long range of old men, and now we get old women. Perfect.
Or
I
young.
think it's time for this.
So we go up.
Oh, this is cool.
It's a bit
Now
like
we are
a
walking
spaceship
towards-
too.
This is indescribable, Cornelis. Try it, but I
Yeah.
don't get it. These are very long
We've gone a very long
steps you have
stair.
to take on the stair.
It's a white.
And the handrail is black, and it's matte, and it's cool.
Feeling weight.
and The acoustics in here are still very good. I think.
Yeah.
It's very open space, and it doesn't. Is there any flatter? No.
The ceilings and the walls are also adapted, especially in the meeting rooms,
Yeah.
to improve the acoustics.
Yeah. There's a cinema.
And it's a meeting room.
So in front of you is the south, and you have a nice view
Wow.
on the city.
Just take a picture of the room. It's a nice combination of black seats and the white interior of the building.
If you walk towards the FIP, you have the impression that there's
Wow.
no ground under
Oh yeah,
your feet.
I think it's kind of brave to build such a building. Sometimes in the process of building, there are a lot of people involved, and some are not so brave, and then we get something which is a mishmash of ideas or something. And this one is very bold and brave. I like this.
Most people like it.
Yeah.
There are people, when they see it from the outside, they don't like it because they say it's too modern and it's, well, on top of a classified building, we shouldn't do this. But once they've seen the inside, then, well, they love it.
I saw the picture.
There's a lot of daylight and, yeah.
Yeah, the space is used in a very clever way, I think, because this room here for the presentation is like a little cinema here, and in the back side we have this ongoing structure from the outside. There is this polygonizing theme I was talking about when we are standing on the in the beginning in front of the building, and now we see through the polygonizing or the polygon shapes of the outer shell, and they are actually windows, and every other one is white, and now it's hard to describe. Please take a look at the photos, dear audience.
Yeah.
It's better to experience this kind of architecture. It's hard to describe just in words.
I think what's also interesting, we've got this auditorium, but it's not a closed space. I think it's possible to close it with curtains.
We have curtains and sunblinds because we have a lot of windows, a lot of daylight, which is very nice, but also it's a bit disturbing for the screen, especially when there's a lot of sun. You have to close or the windows or the sunblinds or both.
But the basic concept is open, as we see it right now. So this is interesting.
I like these details. There are some strange. Help me. What's Winkel in English?
Angle.
Angle. Okay.
Angles.
The angles here are not parallels. They are a little bit towards each other, and everything is a little bit out of shape and out of.
This is a bit like the desk at reception.
Yeah.
It's interesting. The beginner would do all things symmetrical, but it's more interesting to have some difference.
And it's often very hard to combine hard shapes like polygons or triangles with rounded curves, and
it's true.
It's nicely done here because the space is seems more open than it is, because the room here is already very big, but when the windows are slightly angled towards the outer side, it's like in the Rhine Tower in Düsseldorf. Yeah. Where also the windows are angle towards the. You can look down through the windows, and my mom gets. Oh
It's
no!
a TV tower
Don't
with
touch the
sun.
windows.
You can lean on the windows. It's nice for children. This don't have.
We have
with no fear of fades,
1,900
yeah.
of these triangular windows,
Yeah.
but not all of them are windows. Some are filled with insulation material.
Yeah.
This is actually glass. This is a normal window.
Yeah.
So we have 1,900 triangles. 1,200 are unique,
Yeah.
and the others are in series of 8 or to 12.
Do they have to be cleaned from the outside?
Yes, they clean twice a year.
Not that
Twice a
easy.
year,
Okay.
Takes about 2 weeks to clean everything inside and outside.
There are some specialists that are getting over here, and then they're hanging from the building,
Yes.
and okay,
Yeah.
all working upside down.
And it took literally 6 months to make the puzzle of the triangles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to describe.
Yeah, and it's such a level. When you
Yeah.
do a model of this and just cut it out of paper, it would be hard. But to make it as an actual building, whoa.
Yeah.
This is not so easy.
Wonderful.
And this, there is a parking garage or something.
Sorry?
This, or is it actually street that is going underground over there?
No, that's the entrance to the parking lot.
Okay, because it takes the shape of the building somehow and makes a.
Yes, but I
It
think
resembles it in some
Yeah.
way. Was this parking entrance built with the newer building on top? Do you know that? Because it looks like that.
the parking was not there yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
We made
part of the
it.
project. Yeah.
Yes,
so
it's part of the project.
of the overall project was this parking space.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Because the shape reminds
It's
me of
But
the
I
building.
think it's rather for practical reasons. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Because Zaha Hadid wanted the square to be open. It's not allowed for cars to park the cars on the square. They have to go to the parking unless they just stay for 5 minutes and they go. If there's events, if they have approval, then it's an exception, of course.
Speaking of Zaha Hadid, I'm not sure when she died. Was it before the building opened?
Before,
Oh,
yes.
so she didn't.
She already died before the
You
opening
can't
of the
see it.
building. Yes.
That's it.
Are there a lot of children coming towards this level?
No.
Because I know children like to put their hands on the glass and then just go forward and
No,
then lying on the
sometimes
glass.
we have schools coming
Yeah.
here, but they go to the aerial picture and we give them an introduction to the port. But in the building, no. Every Tuesday and Thursday evening, people can visit the building with the city guide. They have to make an appointment and then they can visit the building. It's a tour of 45 minutes or 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And we don't recommend children to come because, first of all, for most children it's not very interesting. And also, we have a lot of stairs. It's not easy with a buggy, for example, with strollers to come into the building.
But get children to these windows and you don't get them out of the building anymore. They're just lying on the glass and watching down.
Do you want to see the other side, the company restaurant?
Oh, there's table football. Wonderful.
The canteen.
So we are now actually on the border between the city and the port. In the 19th century, the port was located there. But now the port starts here and goes towards the north.
This is nice, Sven.
Yeah,
There are only
Brushed
edges of
metal.
brushed metal on the.
very hard to clean, believe me. Very hard to clean. We had this in our old kitchen. It was a pain to clean that. So this is the kitchen area for the events.
No, this is for us, for the employees.
For the employees. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That's such a nice canteen.
I have to
How are the
quit my
meals?
job and
Very
apply
good.
for.
Be honest.
Yeah.
We,
nice.
No, I'm
We
not.
often heard from companies and that. Oh no.
We cannot complain at all.
Okay.
So on the other side we saw the city, and here we can see the port.
Do you know if these tables were custom made?
Probably, to be honest.
You have to, I think so.
So the bridge
Wow.
you see here is called Siberia Bridge.
Siberia. Okay.
Yes, like I said, in the 19th century, the port was located more in the city. Nowadays, it moved more towards the north. And we are now, this building is actually on the border between the city and the port. But in the 19th century, this was the place where the port ended. And if the dockers had to come here, they said, oh, it's like we are punished. We have to go so far, and it's very cold over there. It's like we have to go to Siberia.
Ah, okay.
And now this bridge is called Siberia Bridge.
Okay, that's the joke. Okay, I get it.
Well, not really a joke.
Is it an official name or is it a...
No. It's official name.
It's official name? Okay, cool.
This used to be the end of the port. Now it's the beginning.
Yeah.
But it was far. Now we have cars. Everyone has a car, but times were different.
I didn't know that.
It's even more exciting view because of the ships and the water. Or different way exciting view.
And the light from the ceilings are reflecting in the windows. It's not easy to take pictures, but
Yeah.
there are 2 layers of glass, I think. Yeah. Even when you press the phone towards the glass, you get reflections from the inside. That's
Life is hard.
life is very hard. Yes. Luxury problems. Yeah, it's hard for interior design to make such with only bright colors or light colors like this blue, and the color palette is very good, and it's hard for getting white to shine as it's supposed to be, because often you have just very sterile rooms that are very clean and very like a hospital or something. And this white is actually warm, and I imagine how it is on a bright sunny day when you're up here, and then there are the colors outside and the white neutral inside, and they are playing with each other. So I like that.
It's a bit of a matte finish, not too glossy.
Yeah,
it's
not too shiny.
The reflection is very nice.
Yeah,
because I said it looks a little bit like a video game, because it looks a little bit surreal.
Yeah.
Because of the finish, because that is. Yeah. Is it very warm in here in the hot summer?
No, it's normal, but we don't have a classic air conditioning. So there's a network of pipelines under the ground, 80 meters deep, for the geothermal energy. So the heat from the summer is stocked under the ground, and it's used for heating the building in the winter, and the opposite.
That is cool.
Very eco-friendly.
Yeah.
So about 50% is used from geothermal energy for the heating and the cooling of the building.
Yeah.
Other 50% with the classic ways, of course.
Yeah. There's something about architecture you only can feel in the place. You can take pictures a lot, but they don't.
It is hard also for me to describe what you actually see. I come into this building every day, and I'm used to it. But for you, it's new, and I understand that you're like, wow, overwhelmed.
Everything gets normal over time. I know what you mean.
So now we go to the 5th floor.
Yeah.
We call this the bridge, and the bridge is like a floor between the old fire station and the new building. So we're actually outside. You will see.
Okay. Is it that because it's called the bridge, or is it in something like a ship? The bridge of a ship where the captain stands and takes the helm.
It's a good question. I don't know who decided to call it a bridge, because it's not a bridge like in the traffic, of course. It's rather... We will take the next one.
Yeah. I like to touch surfaces.
Go ahead.
He likes textures and such things.
Yeah.
Also, there are no stairs to go to the new building. Also, only elevators. We just have evacuation stairs there in case of emergency, fire, to go down. But if there's no emergency, it's not possible to take stairs.
Because the fire emergencies should be taken seriously on top of an old fire station, I guess.
Yeah.
And they're just handles and long pipes where you can slip down.
I wish. So the 5th floor is a floor outside between old and new building, and the doors block automatically if there's too much wind. Then we cannot go outside. I think we are lucky.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so they lock automatically. Okay, but you can get inside when you are outside.
Yes, or take the stairs.
You're stuck on the outside.
Or
Padlock.
evacuation stairs.
Okay. Okay. The circle closes.
Wow.
You have a very good view here on the structure of the two buildings.
Yeah.
One is on top of the other, but it's not like there's still a space between both.
Yeah.
That's where we are standing now.
I like the size of the new building because it's not too big to suppress the old one. So it's kind of light and organic, animal-like. It's a good.
Yeah.
The proportions are very, very good. This is funny. You
I
can
still want
see
to show you.
the
Yes, sorry.
move of the
Oh, this
old
is
building
nice.
on top of the
Yeah.
new building.
Old details. But the base of this elevator was newly built on top of the old building. This was not there at the beginning. This part here.
I don't think so.
Seems so.
Maybe.
But it's nicely done. It looks
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not sure, to be honest. This is. I want to show you something on the
there
other
was no
side.
need for a tower like this, so I think this is also the top plating there. I think this is also new.
It's just built in the perfect size, the need for the elevators. But it's very.
So
But
here,
this looks old.
Yeah, this.
Yeah.
in front of you, you can see this black metal
Wow.
structure.
Yeah.
This was
This is-
used to hang the fire hoses to dry because they were made from fabric
yeah.
and they had to dry very well, otherwise there would be molds. And we kept this because it's like part of the old fire station.
Even newer fire stations that these had as a separate tower between,
Yeah.
at the side of the building. In my hometown, there's a new fire station that built an old tower, a new tower, sorry, besides the new building just for the fire.
Okay.
Was it fire pipes? What is it called?
House.
Fire hoses.
Fire hose. Okay, fire hoses. Okay.
This is a really interesting
So the
view.
the shaft
old, the new,
of
old,
the
new.
elevator is actually the only connection
Yeah.
between the fire station and the new building.
Maybe it was the tower for the hoses because
Yes,
this,
yes,
yes,
yes.
that's what,
Yeah.
yeah. So
That
they
was
used it for the.
That answers my question
yeah.
from a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is super great because you got the new roof,
hand
the
must
old
be
building.
out of the
sorry.
picture.
Yeah.
Wider angle means no hands.
Okay.
Yeah, all these details. This is so amazing because the old building is so tiny, and there are so many details on the old building, and the new building is so clean. And I like this contrast of the two buildings. I can imagine there are some harsh winds
Yes.
on some days.
That's why we cannot come here if it's too windy.
Yeah.
It becomes too dangerous.
And here's so many perspectives for pictures. In fact, the podcast, if you play it on Apple devices, we combine pictures and audio, so the listener can
I
have
think
a
you
look at
have
the
to,
pictures.
otherwise people don't
It's
understand.
best. We do multimedia. We do audio and pictures, but not a video. So you can imagine a bit, but then you can look on the pictures, and it's a combination of fantasy and real pictures and some stuff.
And we have a very foggy and hazy day, and this looks even more dystopian, strange, cool.
So now we're standing on the bridge, and if you look up, you have a view on the under.
Yeah.
We call this our fifth facade.
Yeah.
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But this is
it's,
the floor of the
Yeah.
from the down from the. There are
Yes.
no open windows where you can stand on and look. Just the one where we are looking through.
All
a
these
few
are
minutes
covered
ago.
with insulation
Yeah.
material and.
in a way, it's a basement of a building, but it's on top of us.
Sorry.
The basement of the building is on top of us, so the
Yeah.
fundamental
Yes.
level, which usually is on the ground, but on this building is above.
Where is this one curved window beside the staircase we were looking through a few minutes ago?
Curved window.
Is this here?
No, it's on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in this direction.
It was the side of the
but
city.
I lost
above the concrete
orientation.
thing.
Here.
Yeah,
This looks very Star Trek.
yeah. I'm thinking about Star Trek and spaceships a while above.
Here, this is the evacuation stair.
Yeah,
Well, if you come from the new building,
Yeah.
you arrive there. If you want to
Yeah.
continue, you have to come here and continue here. I suggest we take the stairs, and then we are in the inside of the concrete leg,
Yeah.
the one that is supporting the new building.
Ah, yeah, the big.
Yeah.
Take a look on the.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will also take a look. I will show he's not falling over. Sometimes he makes strange things. Don't get flying. Okay, you have to take pictures of every reflection you get.
These are the old docks. Are not used anymore. I think.
These are old dry docks, but we don't use them anymore
Yeah.
because we are now using mobile dry docks,
Yeah.
floating on the water. In 4 or 5 years, we hope, probably we will have a maritime museum here,
Yeah.
and also information center for schools to invite schools and introduce them to the port.
Yeah. It's nice. It's cold. Yeah, it's cold.
This is also new, since 5-6 weeks, I think. You can come working here if you want, or also have lunch.
Yeah.
Well, now
For
it's not
summertime,
interesting,
yeah.
it's too cold, but in the summer it's very nice.
Yeah. There's someone with great taste and style at work, selecting these furniture stuff. Or is the architecture firm still involved in the process of doing interior design, or is it someone different?
No.
Because it's very fitting, very, yeah.
Well, this is I don't know who it designed. It's not by Zaha Hadid, but
Yeah.
well, it's very recent.
But it fits to the building.
I
It's
think-
interesting because the black and white and the
It's
round
also in the
shapes.
contract that
Yeah.
it has to be in the same style
Yeah.
with the rest of the building.
Maybe from the same done by the same company who made this for the huge area with the curved tables we were in a few minutes ago.
Maybe. But it's not Zaha Hadid.
I don't know, but we are public government,
Yeah.
so for each investment, well, we have to have several companies.
Yeah.
To,
To win the contract, yeah. Okay. This way. Now we're inside of the leg, yeah.
yeah. A lot of people are surprised that it's hollow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I saw a door on the leg at the last visit, so I suppose that it's some kind of stairway.
Yeah.
Not so surprising.
But you can only come down, which
Yeah.
is logical.
Yeah.
Because normally this is for evacuation.
Yeah.
This could be a good daily workout. Up and down, 4 times every day.
It's also interesting because every level is different.
What's different?
Every level is different from,
Yeah.
from the shape, so it's interesting to walk down here.
The architects also made a calculation that the new building would sink under its weight.
Yeah.
So this concrete foot goes to -2 into the parking lot,
Yeah.
but it's independently from the parking itself.
Yeah. So it's
Because of the weight, the new building sunk with 8 millimeters.
Yeah.
So this foot goes to -2 and it's independently, otherwise it would take down the whole parking lot, of
Okay.
course.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, I did see this door. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Very nice. Yeah. Wow.
You enjoyed it, I hope?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's hard to describe in words.
Yeah.
In words.
First time I came here, it was like, am I allowed to work here? Can I
Yeah.
touch this? That was my feeling.
Yeah, that would be my feeling too. I totally know what you mean. Yeah, this is cool.
And I saw a lot of modern buildings, but this one is one of the most special buildings I visited.
I hope it meets your expectations.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think so.
I will give you my visit
Yeah.
card as well.
Yeah.
So if you have any specific questions about the building that I couldn't answer, just email and we will look it up.
Yeah.
There are some details that, well, not all of us know. We
Yeah.
have a we give a general presentation on the port, on the building also. But if you want to know something specific, we can always ask someone. I mean, there are 500 people working here, so
Okay.
Yeah.
or we look it up in the
Yeah.
contract with Zaha Hadid.
So the only thing you need back the microphone.
I think so.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Okay,
let's-
now we are turning back to German.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Hallo, so da sind wir wieder.
Hallo. Ach so, du bist das, ja. Nein,
Cornelis, du hier. Ah, ja.
das hat sich sehr gelohnt. Das hat wirklich Spaß gemacht.
Ich hoffe, ihr konntet den englischen Ausführungen von uns beiden folgen. Auf jeden Fall das war toll. Das hat mich jetzt ein bisschen versöhnt mit unserer Anreise hierhin und mit dem Wetter, weil bisher macht das Wetter mit. Es ist nur sauwindig. Und jetzt sind wir hier an der Straße und versuchen uns mal vor den Autos zu retten. Da vorne ist irgendwo noch da konnte man, glaube ich, runter zum Wasser. Was ist das?
Streusalz.
Streusalz.
Ja.
Jetzt schon. Na gut.
Das steht da das ganze Jahr.
Na gut.
Weil es schwer zum Wegräumen ist. Na
Ja,
egal.
wir haben jetzt gar nicht so viel von dem alten Haus gesehen, außer den Innenraum, weil ich schätze mal, das sind halt ganz normale Büros. Wir konnten ja ein bisschen durch die Glasfronten reingucken,
Ja.
erahnen. Jetzt sind wir an der Sibirien-Brücke.
Ich muss ja zu meiner Schande gestehen, dass ich gedacht habe, okay, man kann eine Führung machen. Ob das so interessant ist von innen? Naja, es ist halt noch interessanter als von außen. Obwohl es von außen schon
was
ziemlich...
sich mir jetzt nicht ganz erschlossen hat, also Stichwort so, wie ist die Logik des Gebäudes aufgeteilt? Ne, da hatte ich jetzt aufgrund des Durchführens durch die Räume jetzt nicht so den Eindruck von, dass ich jetzt da irgendwie sagen könnte, ach, da ist aber auch mitgedacht worden. Ne? Stichwort unsere Folge mit dem neuen Campushaus.
Liebes Kind in Lüneburg.
Ja, genau, in Lüneburg. Wo du ja eindeutig mit der Prämisse gestartet bist oder mit der Zielsetzung, wie sagt man das, mit der These, dass dieses Haus halt auch durch deine eigene Erfahrung sehr wirr gebaut ist. Da hätte man natürlich jetzt hier mal so ein bisschen gucken können, wie ist das eigentlich, wenn man, zählt hier die Optik oder zählt hier auch der Innenraum? Ich fand jetzt das, was wir gesehen haben, das war halt sehr schlau angelegt. Das waren halt alles sehr offene Räume. Eigentlich besteht der obere Teil jetzt nach meiner Wahrnehmung nur innen aus so 3-4 Räumen und dann rundherum halt die Gänge und an den beiden Extremen dieser Zigarre oder dieses UFOs, dieses Schiffs, sind halt dann die großen offenen Bereiche mit jeweils Gastronomie und eben dieses kleine Kino. Super schöne Atmosphäre, also das stelle ich mir den ganzen Tag über geil vor, egal ob Wind, Regen, Wetter, Sonne, Nacht, das muss einfach nur cool sein, durch diese Fenster da rauszugucken.
Wir haben ja nur das unterste der Stockwerke des Aufbaus des neuen Teils gesehen.
Ja, 2. Wir hatten das 6. und das...
Die Brücke war so quasi ein Verbindungsgeschoss.
Genau, das war das mittlere oder das untere.
Kino und Restaurant. Und ich glaube noch 2 oder 3 Geschosse oben drüber Büros. Und ich vermute mal, dass es gar nicht so verwirrend ist, weil die Form dann nach oben hin eigentlich nicht so zerklüftet ist, wie man ursprünglich denkt. Es ist eigentlich dann Dreiecksform. Die Büros selber sind wahrscheinlich relativ normal. Und ich nehme auch an, dass ein kleinerer Teil der Büros überhaupt erst oben ist, weil das alte Gebäude hat schon deutlich mehr Bauvolumen. Ja. Das hatte ich auch vorhin gesagt, dass das neue Gebäude nicht so ist, dass es das alte irgendwie erdrückt. Es ist eigentlich vom Volumen her kleiner und leichter und flanscht sich nicht so stark oben drauf, dass man das Gefühl hat, es wird zerquetscht. Ja. Das ist
interessant finde ich jetzt von außen, sieht man das mal, wenn du auf den äußeren Teil rechts von uns jetzt guckst. Da ist halt alles sehr gerade, ne? Ja. Und dann wird dieses Gebäude nach links jetzt von uns aus gesehen, also nach hinten, der Teil, der nicht vorne übersteht, wird es unruhiger. Also da ist schon auch ein Gedanke bei, wo sich so, ne, also der auch dieses, was ich jetzt die ganze Zeit als Polygonizing bezeichnet habe, halt diese Dreiecke, also es kommt halt dieses Polygonizing, der Begriff kommt jetzt so aus dem Designbereich, wo halt von Spielen, wo ja die Architektur in Spielen oder generell alles in 3D-Spielen ja immer aus Dreiecken aufgebaut ist, weil es halt der geringste dreidimensionale Körper ist, der von Grafikkarten und CPUs berechnet werden kann. Und dementsprechend ist das hier aufgegriffen worden, irgendwie, dass man halt auch begriffen hat, dass man das so ein bisschen verbinden kann. Also da ist so ein ganz kleines bisschen Geri drin. So, wir knautschen einmal rein, ne? Wir nehmen quasi eine geometrische viereckige Form, ziehen die nach da und dann machen wir einmal wie so ein Alukügelchen so, und grapschen da einmal rein. So ein bisschen sieht's aus. Und man kann sich jetzt darüber streiten, ob es so den unteren Bau wirklich...
Naja, aufwerten vielleicht nicht.
Ich finde schon, dass es das aufwertet, weil ich finde es eine schöne Analogie auf unsere Zeit irgendwie. So, man ehrt das Alte, aber setzt was Neues drauf. Ich finde das eigentlich immer cool, wenn so neue Sachen auf Alte draufgesetzt werden und nicht so das Alte so, da wird was nebengesetzt und dann interagiert das nicht miteinander. Aber ich frage mich, wo die Inspiration herkam, speziell diese Form zu wählen. Weil ich finde jetzt, da ist schon eine Spannung zwischen den beiden durch die Andersartigkeit. Aber ich sehe jetzt auch kein Aufgreifen von irgendwas. Also mir fehlt da ein winziger Teil, der so eine richtige Verbindung zwischen den beiden schafft. Weil der Aufzugsschaft, der Schacht, der ist ja aus den Backsteinen gebaut, aus denen auch das Gebäude ist und ist, wie wir eben erfahren haben, der alte Spritzenturm. Ja. Und dementsprechend, da ist die Verbindung da. Irgendwie wirkt das dann ganz stimmig, wenn man sich das so anguckt. Aber von außen sieht es halt so ein bisschen alienmäßig aus. Ja, also es ist so... als würde es das Ganze annektieren und irgendwann erdrücken.
Ich kann mir vorstellen, dass eines der Prinzipien beim Bauen gar nicht die äußere Form allein war, sondern auch die Art und Weise, welche Blickwinkel man von innen bekommen soll auf den Hafen. Weil es folgt ja, hat sie auch, glaube ich, gesagt, im Hafenbecken und auf die Art und Weise, wie es gebaut ist, gibt es halt eine schiffsartige, spitz zulaufende Form, die auf den alten Teil des Hafens und die Altstadt schaut. Und dann nochmal eine Front, die sich öffnet hin zu dem neuen Teil des Hafens und einfach sehr vielen Mitarbeitenden die Möglichkeit gibt, diesen Hafen auch so als ihres zu begreifen, für den sie hier arbeiten. Dass das vielleicht so ein bisschen die Idee war und dass aus dem alten Teil ja eben nicht so danach ausgerichtet ist, das zu ermöglichen. Allein durch die Höhe gibt es eben noch neue Einblicke. Vielleicht war das einfach so der Gedanke, ne, diese Einblicke zu schaffen.
Ja, und es wirkt natürlich auch einfach als Signaletik in sich. Ne? Also niemand wird dieses Haus übersehen, wenn dir jemand sagt, so, ja, wo ist denn das Hafengebäude? Ja, guck dich mal um.
Ja,
ne? Also
genau.
es hat natürlich auch eine Form von aufmerksamkeitshaschender Wirkung, die für ein öffentliches Gebäude, das jetzt von den Leuten auch gefunden werden muss, um da eben die Meldungen zu machen, die Büros zu finden. Was ich spannend fand, war, dass sie erzählt hat, dass eben die Büros so, also wie so Workspace-Sharing, wie so ein Co-op-Space irgendwie ist. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob das so gang und gäbe ist oder ob das ein Konzept von hier ist.
Nee, das gibt es öfter. Ich habe es sogar schon im Unikontext auch erlebt, dass man einfach so einen kleinen Container hat und dann seinen Laptop und dann den Arbeitsplatz jeden Tag neu finden und belegen kann und muss.
Ja, aber ich meine jetzt speziell im Hafen.
Im Hafengebiet.
Weil es geht ja auch darum, dass
das weiß ich nicht. Ja.
Also ich habe das so verstanden, korrigiere mich da, wenn das nicht so ist. Ich habe das so verstanden, dass ja hier auch teilweise dann Vertreter der Logistikfirmen oder irgendjemand hin muss, um ein paar Tage irgendwie mit denen dann irgendwie auszubaldowern, wie die und die Lieferung und so ist. Und dass die sich dann auch in die jeweiligen Räume...
Das kann sein, aber ich habe es primär für die eigenen Teams verstanden. Natürlich kann es sein, dass es Platz gibt, um auch Partner und Projektpartner eben dazuzunehmen. Warum nicht? Ne?
Deswegen hätte
genau.
so habe ich es verstanden. Also, schreibt es in die Kommentare, wenn ich das falsch verstanden habe. Weil das würde ja Sinn machen, dass du auf diese Weise immer wieder eine dynamische Zusammenstellung hast.
Genau.
Wenn jetzt irgendeine Firma hier mit der Hafenbehörde hin und her, dann sind die halt auch in der Lage, in diese Prozesse integriert zu werden und müssen nicht jeden Tag irgendwie reinkommen.
Ja, also ich glaube, für Projektarbeit gibt es das durchaus. Das Wichtige ist eben, dass man, was wir leider überhaupt nicht haben bei uns in der Uni oder auf der Arbeit, du musst halt Platz haben. Wenn du 30% Luft hast, dann ist es auch möglich, bei Projekten eben, was weiß ich, einen Grafiker, einen Texter oder irgendwas dazu zu holen oder einfach auch einen Planer, je nachdem, welches Projekt man eben so macht. Wenn es aber eh schon voll ist, klar, dann geht das nicht. Ne? Und diese Spaces zu lassen und das auch so zu planen, das kann sein. Ne? Dass das so gemacht wurde.
Aber auch hier, der Bereich hier zum Parkhaus runter, der hat auch diese Form. Ne? Also die haben sich schon ein bisschen was dabei gedacht, als sie dann auch die neuen Zugänge hier zu dem, oder überhaupt die Zugänge, das gab es ja vorher nicht, zu dem unterirdischen Parken und so. Aber jetzt überleg mal, architektonisch, was das für ein Aufwand ist, dass du etwas baust, was das alte Gebäude zwar überspannt, aber das alte Gebäude eigentlich nicht braucht für die Statik, aber du hast Säulen, die da quer durchgehen. Das finde ich total faszinierend, dass du halt in einem Gebäude dann so die Säulen hochziehst und dann da oben drauf, du musst ja auf den Säulen bauen. Also wo fängst du an? Du hebst ja nicht die Basis des neuen Gebäudes erstmal über das andere und baust dann die Säulen runter. Ja. Sondern du fängst ja an, deine Struktur aus Stahlstreben erstmal zu bauen, dann gießt du das Fundament, da kannst du keine Verschalung machen, weil es ist ja freischwebend. Also das finde ich faszinierend.
Ja. Also der Punkt zuvor, ganzheitliche Planung, ist, finde ich, auch mal ziemlich großartig, wenn eine Firma, ein Architektenbüro sich mit dem Platz beschäftigt, mit dem Gebäude, teilweise mit den Möbeln. Wenn also ein Gesamtkonzept entsteht, was natürlich sehr aufwendig ist, aber dann sehr, sehr gut alle Aspekte des Gebäudes und des genutzten Platzes, der Fläche eben einfach auch mit im Blick hat und dadurch eben...
Plus so Details wie geothermale, also...
Da steckt da viel Liebe drin, ja.
Wie heißt das?
Ich kenne Wärmepumpe.
Also das Prinzip ist ja, lange Rohre durch das Erdreich zu legen, was halt im Winter gewärmt wird und im Sommer gekühlt wird. Dadurch, dass immer ein Austausch der Gegenseiten stattfindet. Das ist halt ein sehr ökonomisch wertvolles Konzept.
Als ich Kind war und dem Klempner zugeguckt habe, hieß das Wärmepumpe, aber das ist lange her. Geothermie ist aber auch richtig, glaube ich. Ja, wir müssen leider weg von dem Gebäude.
Ja, und müssen wieder zur schlimmen Straße hin. Wir sollten vielleicht jetzt mal auch die Hörerinnen und Hörer entlassen, dass sie jetzt nicht auch noch im Stadtlärm untergehen.
Ich wollte nur noch sagen, kommt hierher, man kann Führung buchen, das habt ihr gehört. Es lohnt sich total und auch Antwerpen und auch Belgien hat noch mehr zu bieten. Das werden wir auch noch euch in anderen weiteren Folgen erzählen.
Genau,
aber dieses Gebäude allein ist jetzt auf jeden Fall mal ein Tipp.
Kommt hier hin, kauft Diamanten, habe ich mir sagen lassen, kann man hier sehr gut machen. Diamanten Antwerpen sehr gut.
Ja, dann sind wir.
In diesem Sinne gehen wir zum Schluss unseres Podcasts über Rot, lassen uns überfahren
Das war schön. Ja,
wünschen euch einen geruhsamen Abend, Morgen, Mittag, was auch immer ihr gerade für eine Tageszeit habt.
bleibt dabei.
Und bis zum nächsten Mal.
Bis bald. Wir melden uns zurück aus Belgien. Tschüss.
Tschüss.